going on, guys? How are we doing this morning? Turn the music down just a touch. Hopefully it's all right. Let me check here. Give me a moment. Cool. Sounds good. Looks good. What's going on, Mushroom Empire? What's going on, guys? Earnings this week. Just quick. Knock this out. We'll do some quick housekeeping, due diligence stuff. There's not really anything going on here. One thing that is kind of interesting, Oracle. Earnings on Wednesday after close. We have a lot going on Wednesday, but look at Oracle today. Oracle looks great. And yeah, as you noticed, right? The title of the stream is Fakeout or Breakout. We got to figure that out. There's a lot of good-looking stocks that look like they're ready to go. A lot of good ones. So, yeah, pick the best of the best, I guess, right? Oracle looks pretty good. And like we said, earnings on Wednesday. We've been seeing a lot of like earnings run-ups, definitely, that are followed by, you know, I wouldn't say questionable, but, you know, mediocre follow-through. Thinking about trying to sell some calls, or I'm sorry, sell some puts on Costco here. Big earnings move, tried to break out, got through, tested the next, or created a new relative high here, and pulling back now to the 50. So I got a limit order in, see if I can catch something here to the SMA, but I like the support that's coming in. And Costco's a company that, yeah, I'd be okay owning some shares. Microsoft's been on an all-time high. Now pulling back to test it a little bit. Definitely was showing some strength last week. This week now, not so much. Since we're on this, we'll just jump through all the mags. Tesla, look at this. Trying to retake the 50. Was below it earlier this morning. This is in like no-fly zone for me unless it breaks down for certain. NVIDIA potentially breaking out here over this H-. That would be indicative of what you're seeing happen in SMH this morning. Really nice strength, right? And if we go to the D1 of SMH, let's see. Yep. Consolidation breakout off of the 200. Sure looks good. So I called out ARM this morning. I like ARM. Nice breakout over the 200, which is exactly what SMH is doing. We like ON, continuation, breakout. I think this was news. That's not bad. LSCC was the other one that we were looking at. Breakout out of the 50, likely to test the top of the cloud, 200, 100. I think volume sucks on this guy, though. Yeah, there's nothing here. TER was one we were looking at last week. Look at this breakout, H- breakout. Perhaps even another one here somewhere. I don't know, multiple H- breakouts. You have the top of the cloud, and you have the 100 coming in here, closer to 93, $94. So there's room to move here. There's going to be some horizontal that's going to come in here, obviously. So check for that. What's the volume like here? Not special. Microchip, another one, break out of the 200 on volume. Looks good. What would you like to see from this? Probably a little bit of a pullback. Something like this. So we'll see. What else we got? TXN making a breakout. Yeah, I mean, that's indicative of what you see happening with an SMH, with NVIDIA. It makes sense. So you got to like, from a long perspective, ASML looks all right here too, still in consolidation, but looking to break out. Some horizontal coming in here. This is all like right in line with what we're seeing from SMH. So yeah, this is definitely a sector I'm going to be looking at. MPWR testing the 200. KLAC breaking out from an H+. That's interesting. Interesting. Volume is absolute garbage. MRVL continuation higher. When we were looking at like a bounce here off of the 50. Cohair stuck below the 200. AMAT was one we were looking at last week. Look at a little bit of continuation here. Probably just set alert at the 200. I've got ADD right now because I didn't go through the rest of the mags here. ADI. I don't know. Maybe. Perhaps. TSM looks pretty good. ANET's been on everyone's list. Continuation, a little bit of a breakout here. Not bad. Anything else? ETN. Nice little hammer forming here on this guy. MU's been on some lists. Look at that. Continuation. Not bad. You would like a pullback here to the 8. It's getting pretty extended. AVGO pulling back to the 15 here. We know that they just had earnings. Maybe a good entry here if we liked earnings. Earnings was in line, it looks like. So, potentially something there. And the biggest losers, VRT, but also putting in a hammer as well as APP. I think at least APP was the S&P 500 inclusion news, or lack thereof. So yeah, that's important. You know, a quick look at what could be strong here this morning. But where are we with the market? Right now we're holding VWAP. QQQ is also at one, holding the 8 and 15. So if we were going to look to get long here, we would need to see support forming at VWAP on SPY for certain. If this breaks down below, then you know, a little less enticed to get long. We were running through these. We talked about Microsoft. We talked about Netflix at all-time highs, pulling back here to the 8, pulling back. Costco, we talked about that for a minute. We consider this one weaker than the rest of these. Maybe not. NVIDIA now giving back VWAP. And so this is the problem, right? If you're trying to get long here, you need to find where support's going to be found. And, you know, this isn't just going to take off the market. There's too much news coming up here towards Wednesday for this to take off. So we'll get into that here in a second. Let's finish the rest of these mags. Amazon, a nice breakout here. Confusing, though, with the volume. Really jumping around with that, like, hammery thing. I don't know. Not super excited about this one right now. Apple getting above the 50 here, but this thing's a chop fest through here. Right through here. Google looks good. Nice breakout here. It looks like it's getting some follow through and some continuation. This guy's been beaten up for a hot minute. You're going to have some horizontal come in here and a bunch of different stair steps you got to get through, so definitely something to consider. One of the stronger mags, and then the other one is obviously Meta. Also looks good. Breakout continuation here, just stair stepping higher. So, what's going on, Dark Chocolate? How is everyone doing this morning? Happy Monday. Hopefully people had a good weekend. Economics calendar, just mentioned on Wednesday, you have a lot of things coming out. You have CPI, you have CPI year over year, core CPI year over year. You have the budget. You have a couple different things here that are going to be relevant. We'll keep an eye on them. It looks like we might get wholesale inventories right now, so let's see what that does to SPY. Looks like it's bouncing now. Okay. And what does this mean for all your stocks? Lemonade we liked from last week. Look at the volume coming in after the breakout of the cloud and the 100 and this H minus here. Certainly looks good. PayPal was another one that we were interested in, breaking out over the 100. I don't know if this is really one I want right now, but there's something here potentially. You know, a cloud level here as well. Is there room to the 200? Perhaps, but I'm going to take it down for now. ANET, we went over this one. Not much today. Toast, looks like it's pulling back after a little bit of a move higher in pre-market. I don't know. Dash, I mean, these guys are on kind of, you know, a move. This guy's already broken out, probably pulling back a little bit. mRNA, this one looked interesting this morning. Bouncing through the 50. You're in consolidation and horizontal here. There's obviously a gap that it's testing. Um, I don't know. Not a ton of room here to the 50. That's the problem. So I have an alert set up here. So we'll get rid of that. Sedge, look at this one. Gap fill. Looks like it's almost there already, actually. I tried to play this gap fill last week, but then I was pulling back multiple times. It's just a little unpredictable, unfortunately. But look at this volume that came in here after earnings, and yeah, definitely interesting. Tan strong today. I think I mentioned that in the Discord. But this guy, you know, Tan is just a psychopath. Anything could happen with this stock, or with these stocks. So, Malice says Rocket Lab getting some super volume might be a good day, good for a day trade. We can take a look. We know CCJ is having a nice move this morning. Real nice move. Add it here. We know nukes go. Look at those real quick. 5Z missiles. UEC breaking out 2. BX, this one's doing it. Everything's doing it, you know, in the nukes section, except for Oklo. CCJ does look the best, though, obviously. Okay, what was it? Rocket Lab, and we'll look at ASTS. We'll look at Lunar. We'll look at all those nonsense stocks. Yeah, this is an interesting one. Definitely looks good. The volume yesterday was high. Definitely feels like a nice bounce there. This is the kind of pullback that you're looking for, right? This is bounce through, pull back to this level, retest it, chopping around in here. Nice volume came in and then taking off. Maybe on Friday this one would have looked good. I don't know. Hard to say. But this guy also we know is a little bit on the meme side. Let's go on kites. ASTS. Yep. I mean, look, same sector. Lunar. No. Joby, another one. AUR? Nope, kind of wallowing. Okay. Not bad, not bad. I like it. I like both of them. But we need the market to put in something here, and it's not. Look at this hammer coming in. Pretty ugly. I don't know. Well, we might be in some wait and see today. We will see. Profit likes you, PST. It's fighting for view up here, certainly. And it looks like QQQ is trying to keep it up. And Google's the best looking one. Interesting, interesting. Let me see what this looks like here. Excuse me. Good morning. Just throwing some AV ops on. Let's see what we got. That one definitely seems significant. Man, this market does not look like it wants to get up above view up. I'm just setting an alert here. In my last video, I had some notification issues. Apologize if people were listening to it. It was super loud. I don't know. TradingView is weird. So there's supposed to be like a setting in here for alerts, and I didn't see it in the desktop version. There's supposed to be like a volume indicator bar here, right? That I can move the volume up and down, but for whatever reason, I think it's only on desktop. T-Mar, what's going on, dude? ASTS, yeah, I mean, you plenty of high volume bars coming in here. This guy looks really good. Nice breakout for sure. Oracle still looking good. CCJ. Yeah, we got a couple really good picks here. They're looking solid. We were flipping through here. What's going on, Red? AVGO, like we said, nice little bounce here. Wonder what AVGO contracts look like if I was to sell some out of the money puts. In 4 days, it's a 240, too expensive. Or too close to the strike. 235, 7.5. No, that's not gonna work. Yeah, I don't know about lemonade. All right, we'll jump through the rest of this interesting list and see how that's going. PRCT, pretty disappointing here. I was hoping we were going to see some continuation. I like that it's going to hold above 100. We'll see. That's a very small position there for me. Tempest, I have shares. I mean, this guy just keeps rejecting this cloud level. It's annoying. At some point, it's going to go. We'll see. It has to, right? It just has to. These are shares, so... but maybe I sell covered calls on this through the end of the week. Let's see what that looks like. Covered calls, and we want to go up to like 75 probably. Yeah, nothing. Not worth it. It's annoying. Probably should have done it this morning. At open. What else do we have here? Pete mentioned OTM bullish put spreads in his video. Yeah. I mean, you know what a bullish put spread is, Mallow. Come on. That used to be the thing. Stocks moving this one. Flat market. It says Dr. Trades. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at his eat. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. Bouncing off the 8 here. This guy came up, I don't know, like a week or so ago. Like right through here. So yeah, I think you have till Wednesday probably to be long. Wednesday morning. But and what's the rule? We buy pullbacks. So I mean, the market is doing its thing this morning, trying to get above, you know, this level, whatever it is, 600-ish, which is kind of a bit of a ceiling, right? That's the hard part here. How do you get long, knowing that 600 is a bit of a ceiling that we will likely break, like get through it at some point. We've set up some new. I mean, 600 is like right here. We've been flirting with it all pre-market. So either you're trying to slam in some entries on stocks that are going to get, that you want to be long on and are going to do all the lifting, something like Google here, right? Or you're being patient and you're going to say, I'm going to wait for a larger pullback to find some support on SPY to test 600 again. And maybe that's what we're doing anyways. But it's definitely hard to say for sure. QQQ strong today. If you go into the rest of the sectors, we already have mentioned SMH. So obviously all your semiconductors, TAN we mentioned, XLK is strong. IWM has been on a breakout. Let's look at IWM on the D1 again. I mean, look at this thing. Basically straight to this cloud level, whatever this is, which is also some horizontal. Going to be testing the 200 here. I mean, look at that move. It's pretty risk off, isn't it? Anyways. Aurelius? What's going on, dude? Micho, what's going on? Daz, how we doing? One menu for alerts is accessible via chart settings. The other is via the main settings by clicking your left avatar on top left. Oh, it's in here? Alerts. Oh, look at you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, you're not trying to blow people's ears out. CELH. Yeah, CLH, look at this guy. Consolidation breakout after getting absolutely beaten to shit for the past, like, I don't know, since May. Get some big horizontal coming in here soon. Probably some cloud lines. Doesn't look bad. Does not look bad. I like it. It's a breakout. I mean, look at all these stocks. They're doing all the lifting on their own. Except for the ones that we're in, of course. Okay. STX still on the docket. Let's take a look. Let's see. While we're at it, oh yeah, looks great. H plus breakout. Yeah. Definitely looks solid. Okay, so we'll get through this interesting list as well. Housekeeping. I created a YouTube channel as well, just to store the videos, because for whatever reason Twitch only stores so many, so I've basically lost pretty much everything we've already done from a streaming standpoint, except for the ones that I saved. I saved like one mindset discussion and like one other video somewhere, so I'll get that updated. But yeah, it'll be cool to have it all saved as well in other places, because I think we're finally getting to the point where people want to see some other content that's been older stuff, and it's gone. It sucks, but now it'll be there, so that'll be cool. Look at SPY here. Above average volume all morning so far. I actually personally don't see the low volume that Pete's talking about. Like if I zoom out on SPY, we're above average, you know, through most of May. And a lot of volume, obviously, they came in there in early April, so might be low-ish volume, but I mean, you still have days like, you know, Thursday where you see the volume start to come in. What's going on, Bubbles? Bullfrog, how we doing? Eurific, what's going on, guys? Micho. Vive? Isn't this like a penny stock? Oh, what the heck? I've never seen this thing. Packaged sauce. Okay. Volume sucks. It is bouncing to the 8. Perhaps. I mean, this thing isn't exactly strong today, when the market is pretty strong. Oh, let's run through here. So we like CCJ. We already know that. We like ON. We already know that. Marvel is even breaking out a little bit here after this bounce. We'll leave it on there. TER is on the list. TXN is on the list. A nice move here. ANET is on the list. Still continuation. Lemonade pulling back a little bit, which is to be expected after the volume that we saw there on, last week. Pretty big move. Etsy's been on a non-stop move here. This is one, if this pulls back, definitely will get long. ES looks good. Hasn't broken out yet, though, and is reconsolidating here above the 200 in this level. So I'll probably take this off. Expedia, continuation from Friday's hammer. Definitely interesting there. eBay is the same as Etsy, is pulling back here. We'll keep it on the list. GE pulling back. Nice move up here. Core is pulling back to the 200. Probably off the list. Net. Look at this hammer coming in from this morning. I mean, it's just strong, man. It's just strong. There's something here on net. Unsure what. And then shop. Same story here. Pulling back this morning after a nice breakout of this H minus. Tried to break the other one as well. Couldn't get through. We have the alert set. We'll get rid of it. Yeah, I don't know, guys. For those of you that are newer, welcome. Uh, Other housekeeping timing wise, I'm going to be off the desk till the end of June, starting next week. Taking some time for a little family vacation in Europe. So just heads up. Not great timing wise for the stream, but that's okay. Maybe when we get back, we'll just jump back into it. But I'll probably be trading a little bit on my phone, depending on what I see. Yeah, if we just continue to kind of float around in this wait and see stuff, then maybe it'll be good timing. I know Harry and Pete just put in some vacation, and I know Harry's getting ready to as well. So can't forget to do that, you know. Okay, so SPY above you up here, nice volume on that candle. Looks like we're gonna test the high day here, but just kind of a little range bound. It's nice to see Izzy G, man, back in the Discord. Good to have him back. Do you have a similar routine check like Isidore? How do you start your day? I mean, you're watching it. Always check the economics. Always check what earnings are coming up this week. You know, look at the S&P 500 map. We can see what's strong, what's not. I mean, obviously, insurance financials are getting hit here a little bit. I don't know why. Oops. What did I do here? Zoom out. There we go. So we'll come back to this, but yeah, SMH is, to me, there's something going on there. PFE maybe. mRNA we already looked at. Yeah, so a lot of the things that you see in here that are already moving, like we've already looked at. Not synopsis. What is that? SNPS. And then we check the sectors, we check our positions, we check the mags. Excuse me, look at this horizontal right here. Look where it went to. Couldn't be more obvious. And then you have an H minus that's going to be there too somewhere. Yep. I mean, if you've been around long enough and you watch long enough, you know it's just about, you know, finding good D1 picks, finding good intraday picks, identifying what the market's doing. And as we watch the market and we see what it's doing, we say, okay, is there an opportunity for us to get a trade in? Pretty tight here. We're just now testing the high of day. So we would like to see some of these stocks making the same move. Sedge is not, so it's off. CCJ, we know this guy's probably one of the better looking ones here, but it's already up almost 10%. A view-up pullback to get long seems like a prudent choice. Oracle, also, similar story, looks good. It's really good. You're going to have some horizontal that's going to come in here in line with the cloud. We looked at ASTS, we looked at CELH, which looks like it's testing the 8 right now. STX as well, testing a pivot line. Perhaps a view-up pullback there too. Synopsis, we looked at this one. Let's just set an alert up here. This one gapped up. Had earnings last week. Sold off and then has since retraced. Kind of interesting there. Anything else from this? No. We looked at overall the spy chart, and you know, we looked back to see where there's other instances of what we're seeing, and in my mind, and I said this on Friday, we're just going to keep riding this 20. As the 50 comes up, we get our bullish our golden cross here, probably in early July is my guess. So let's see. obviously, economic news and macro, be damned. We have to keep all of that in mind. So, yeah, that's where we're at. I'm not slamming any trades this morning, that's for sure, but the market's looking not bad here. Nice little tail coming in. I mean, this isn't just going to be straight up, though, either, right? We're about to test 600 here. This is where we said, this is where we have concerns about whether or not we can get long. Let me check my phone here real quick. Ray Dalio on AI. The days of people making decisions in their own heads are ending. What does that even mean? That guy talks like way too much. Anyways, so yeah, that's what we do. We do that pretty much every day, right? And it's the same thing. We flip charts. We're finding the best relative strength and best relative weakness. We're doing D1 analysis on the market, on stocks that we're interested in. We're checking sectors. We're checking the mag stocks because those are the biggest ones. You can see it on S&P 500 map. We look at news. We look at when auctions are coming up. Refresh this. I think there's something maybe tomorrow and Wednesday here. Unclear. Have to keep an eye out for that. But yeah, that's the routine. That's what we do. We do that every day while we're trading, and hope to make some money. So yeah, if you guys are new, welcome. Give us a follow. We like to get more people in here. It's a lot of fun for me. And I've said it in the past, I think I trade a little bit better when I am streaming because it makes me stick to my process instead of, kind of effing off and looking at other stuff. Yeah. Rocket Lab is good. We looked at Rocket Lab. We like Rocket Lab. I mean, look at the volume coming in. How could you not like that? When did you go long, Mahakali? What was your tell? Rejecting this pivot point. If you're going to take an entry on this, you probably want to wait for the pullback. But it looks good. Yeah. Oh, you said you're for short positions? Yeah, I didn't see that. If you're looking at Rocket Lab for a short, you couldn't be more wrong. But if you're looking at it for a long, it looks great. NVTS. It's a bull flag. I mean, these are bull flags you're looking at. And like we said, SMH is a good spot right now. So I see it. Not bad. Let's look at the intraday. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's not bad of a pullback. I'm going to wait, though, for a view-up pullback on SPY. That's what I'll probably wait for. But, I mean, look where we basically just rejected 600 again. Right? Is this going to, like, go straight back to view-up and then go? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's probably going to do this, like, and chop around. I expect this to be choppy today, personally. What's going on, Crazy Pro? Welcome, or Pyro. What are your most commonly traded tickers or sectors? I'll trade any sector. I mean, I look at all these sectors, right? And you see I have watch lists for each sector too. But, I mean, I'll trade any sector. I do love tech. Big tech trader. You know, anything in QQQ we'll take a look at. Anything in SPY we'll take a look at. I have a much larger watch list of stocks that are typically good volume, good options trading, indicative of some of the biggest stocks in each sector. But yeah, sometimes it's as easy as taking this list and going, what's the hottest and what's not. Well, look at that. The strongest this morning is probably Rocket Lab, and look, if I just sort by change percentage, it's the first one that comes up. Let's look at the other ones and see. I mean, we can do the same thing here. W came up. I know W's been on people's radar. Strong this morning. Look at that. Continuation off the 200. And all I have to do here is just flip through this list and just go to the highest change one. But we don't buy the high of the day, right? We buy a pullback anyways. UEC, another one. Nuke stocks. We know CCJ is going. So this one probably looks good. We should add CCJ in here. AMD, strong this morning as well. Pullback here and a breakout again. Retest. It looks like it's going to go to 200. I think Trading Edge also had highlighted AMD is a stock that has had a lot of puts sold. Let's look. Yeah, there was a bunch of puts sold through the 20th. So the 620 is option expiration. So we'll see probably a lot of options being expiring on that day. And you see good volume in the chart in the chains for 620. So I'm going to keep it light, though, still in here, right? We're still day trading in here. We know that we think we're going to get some pullbacks at some point, potentially to test the 8 that's coming up, potentially test the 20 that's coming up. Yeah, there's a lot of levels of support that are forming below this. We know that 600 is a lid. So I'm not going to sit here and buy at the high of day. I'm going to wait for a pullback and then see. We have a good list of good RS stocks. Now it's just about being patient. Wait and see. And that's fine if you want to get long some of these things, but they better be doing all the lifting themselves. And so I want something that's going to stay above VWAP, not come below VWAP. So CELH probably off the list. Yeah, we want something that's going to hold VWAP. CCJ, just absolute monster. Oracle looks great. Checking the chains for Oracle just to see what this looks like. Okay, you could sell 160 puts on Oracle for about $1.14. I like that. I'm gonna do it. But I'm not gonna do it at high day here. I'm gonna try and sell it a little bit higher here on a pullback. So I'm looking at Oracle chains, and you can go to the end of the week. This stock is breaking out, right? And we know that there's support down here at 162. You have a cloud level at 165 even. This was some consolidation that we finally broke out from. The 200 as well. We know there's a little bit of a lid on the market, but what can we do? We can take advantage of theta here and try and sell options out of the money puts. These would be 160. You can do it for about $1.10. Look what this thing's doing. 160 would put you down here, below the 200 for the end of the week. I don't know. Looks pretty good to me. For $1, we probably could sell a couple of these. Like we said, we don't want to get high a day, so what I could do is set, I don't know, maybe an alert here. See if we can get a fill there. Look at SPY trying to take off. Like, this is the stair stepping. And it might just do this, right? It might say that this is support now, and we're going to get through 600. It could. Let's see. Hold please, hold please. So I'm going to do something similar for Costco, I think. 985 calls, 985 puts, 980 puts. Pretty safe, I would say. 980 puts right now through the end of the week, 4 days. You get 250. I like that. I'm gonna do that. Let's see if we can get a fill here. So we'll try that with Costco. And we were just looking at that with Oracle, which is just non-stop. And I'm not sure we're going to get a fill here. So we'll wait on this guy. Just put in a limit order and go from there. Yeah. Piton, I've seen that name come up a couple times. Yeah, AMD is really going here. What's Nvidia doing? I mean, same thing. Makes sense, right? But look at this. Look at this tail coming in now. We've been transitioning from heavily big tech to doing a lot of earnings plays this year, but light week for earnings going. Oh, that's right. Oracle earnings. Good call. Good call. Well, like I said, I put the order in well above the ask, so I won't even get filled here anyway, so take that off. Good shout on Oracle. Yeah. Crazy Pyro, I don't know if you are in the RDT Discord or not. We don't typically trade earnings unless you're doing time spreads, and I'm not a big fan of it. You know, earnings are a bit of a coin flip, so I don't know if you were trading Hood, but Hood basically the S&P 500 inclusion. I mean, look what happened. It is a nice pullback here on what is a consolidation breakout. I don't know. I see it though. It's been strong. Let's look at things that are weak. Let's see what is weak. Well, there you go. Hood's the weakest one. APP, the other one, which we know they were part of the S&P 500 inclusion conversation. EDP, look at this guy. What is that? That is not good. We know that the ADP report last week was weird. This is definitely breaking down, though. Look at that. We'll see if there's continuation here. I mean, that is relatively weak for certain. I do need to fix that. I need to find a way to get the, what's it called? The stream links or something, so if people type Discord, it directs them to the right place. All right, so we'll see here. Patience. This is obviously a pre-market level. Look at that. Tested it pretty much to the T right here. So we'll have some patience today. You know, we're not here. We're just slamming in trades. We're looking for the highest probability trades. So we said ADP's weak. See some continuation coming here. Maybe you could day trade this short. I just don't know how far this is going to go. Definitely interesting, but there's relative weakness there. Shop, Another one rejected the H minus. FSLR is an interesting weak one because TAN has been strong this morning, but look at this thing. And let's go here, but look at that rotation. TAN has slowly been pulling back since the open. Let's look at Sedge one more time just for the heck of it. And yeah, you're seeing it across the board there. What else are we looking at here? Okay, so we want to see SPY either, you know, hold the 8 here in the 15 or lose it and get to VWAP. This looks like a pretty good level of support here on VWAP. What would that look like for some of these other stocks? Okay, I got filled on those Costco puts. Let's see what happens. 980. Pretty good through the end of the week. I got 250. They're now like 270 though, so keep an eye on these. See what this looks like, and what we'll do is we'll just set an alert here, and we will also add an alert here. Gives us a ton of room below. It's a stock that I would love to own. Yeah, but those will not be cheap shares if I do get exercise, that's for sure. Okay, QQQ's been stronger than SPY here so far this morning, breaking out through this pivot point. We've been testing the 1 standard deviation all morning, and it looks like the 2 as well. Yeah, there's a lot of strength here, and we like Google the most, and we like Meta a lot, which is hanging out below this pivot point, but above VWAP as well. This is the high day yesterday. Google's through the high day yesterday, and pulling back to VWAP here. I mean, it doesn't look like a bad entry for Google. Does not look awful. What else am I looking at here? Sorry, doing some cleanup on my other screen here. I don't know. We'll see. This market's pretty anemic so far. Obviously, we're looking long. Nice little tail coming in here. I'll look at Google change just for the heck of it. I mean, same story on Google. Breakout, could you sell bullish puts? Naked bullish puts below 160 through the end of the week? No. I mean, the premium is trash. It's like pennies. So nothing there. You'd have to go straight directional on this. And the market sure looks like it's putting in high day. Let's look at RSP. Look how weak RSP is comparatively to QQQ. Let's pull up the D1 just for the heck of it. It's been making a nice move off the 200, right? Over the cloud. 180 is this like horizontal level, so we can just set an alert here just so we're aware. But yeah, look at that. It's getting ready to put in low a day. What does that mean? Well, that means QQQ is the strongest one. It's got to hold up for us, right? And if it doesn't, well, the market's probably going to come back down, and I expect a VWAP test. It is showing some strength here, though. So, Crazy Pyro, based on what I read, the RDT method is just trade profitable, proven strategies. I mean, it is a profitable, proven strategy, yes. And you know, you're welcome to trade however you want. I'm just letting you know that that's how I trade and how the majority of the people in here are looking to trade. So, Tesla robotaxi launch. I don't. What's going on? Timon Bert one. I think that Tesla is a glorified marketing machine, and that I will trade its technicals. And its technicals say that it's bouncing back and forth off of news through all the SMAs, in particular the 50 today. And so if you like it for volatility, great. But I don't think it's a company that proves out its its ambition. I think Musk has really effed over the business overall, and I think you're asking for some trouble trying to trade this stock. Now, is there a world where this sell-off was over-exaggerated and you could play a bounce back to the 200 here? Perhaps, but that's not a big move, and it's not exactly high probability and or high priority for me. Did I short Tesla in here? I absolutely did. I was actually short Tesla on Wednesday, and made a really good return there. So, yeah. Nice tail being put in here. Let's see what QQQ is doing. Similar thing above this pivot point. Izzy, what's going on, dude? Market not above pre-market levels, bouncing off the high. Not optimal to get long yet. Yeah, I'd like to see a pullback. Arm holding horizontal. Nice pick from you, early rider. Let's take another look at that guy. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, I mean, certainly looks good on the D1. Certainly looks good on the M5. All right, we're getting our pullback here, perhaps. So let's see what SPY does. So Izzy wants to bounce off the pre-market high, which would be up here. It rejected that, right? And we're putting a big old doji, which to me that makes sense, and that's why I'm happy to be patient here, to figure out what we want to do next here. We are doing market evaluation. So yeah, some new people in here. Welcome, welcome. Is he saying this is crap here and a pullback isn't really long entry? I would have to broadly agree, but we would like to see VWAP hold here just to give us some hope that maybe there's a trade today. But it's not looking like it. I would need to see more strength probably from some of the mags that have already been strong this morning, but RSP is just so weak. Like, look at this. I think that's worth a shout. Even though VIX has been coming down, RSP is so weak. We talked about AMAT there. Zuit trader, Zuit, is that how he says it? Looks like he took a nice trade there. I mean, definitely, you can do this, right? Earnings run up. I don't know if something happened here. Could have been, I don't know, maybe it was NVIDIA earnings or something. Bounced through 100, tested the 200, pull back. Nice hammer off of the 100 saying, yeah, we like this. Held the 100, held the 100, broke back down through. That's some weakness a little bit tougher there. Hammer off of a VWAP from all-time high, I presume. Back through the 100, breakout here. No volume really coming through per se, but you know, if that was enough to get long, I see it. And then you trade between the lines and it's a good 6-7% return. If you're in options, then you get, 60-80%. And that's a good win for sure. Man, FSLR is really breaking down. Interesting. Hood putting in a nice hammer here. Waste management holding the 50, but barely. Look at that cloud level. I think that's an important level. I'd say odds are pretty good. Yeah, that's Izzy's. I mean, look at this. Now we're back below VWAP, right? Didn't even hold VWAP. QQQ is above VWAP, but it tells you about the market, right? That means that the mags are holding this market up. And how can you tell as well? You could go in here and you could look for mags. Look at that. Look at the strength in the mags versus the strength in RSP. Means the mags are holding this market up. Now we can go back through here and look at this for weakness. Well, Google's holding VWAP, which is good. It better be. It's the strongest one. Meta's holding VWAP. This pivot point, it looks like, is resistance. If Meta loses VWAP, which is the second strongest so far this morning, then this market's going to come down. Apple also a little bit of a move up, showing strength this morning, like we said, holding the 50. If this comes back down and retests the 50, like it did on Friday after its little breakout, and also on Thursday a little bit, you know, this market's coming down. Amazon here stuck at a pivot point as well after the breakout. We know that Microsoft and Netflix are at all-time highs, but they're kind of just waffling in here, which makes sense. Nvidia is making a nice move this morning, and this could be part of the reason why the market's doing what it's doing, because we know that SMH, it looks really good. Look at this. Nice little pullback on SMH here. So let's look at all our RS stocks and see what we think the best trade here is. We like Oracle, we said that. We're going to take a position with out of the money puts, but the reminder that earnings is on Wednesday after hours, so that wouldn't work. We like Teradyne from the SMH sector. It looks like it's pulling back a little bit here and has hit some resistance. Let's see what else. AMD is one that's kind of interesting here. We looked at ARM. ARM is nonstop. I think ARM's probably the one that I like the best. ON was the other one. Nice little pullback here. I think ARM is probably the winner. Look at this tail that's coming in now. Is this going to hold VWAP? That'd be pretty nice to see here for the market. Oh wow, we got quite a few people in here today. 40 people. New high score? I think we're getting some randoms that are coming in too, so kind of interesting. Yeah, if you guys are new, welcome, first of all. Welcome. But yeah, you know, I'm a full-time trader. Trade the RDT method. You know, I'm not a shill for it. I don't pay for one option. I think Harry and Pete are smart. I learned a lot from both of them, but you know, my trading goes kind of above that too of what is taught in just RDT. But yeah, my story's there, linked in the bio and everything. But yeah, I would definitely say the RDT community, out of anything I've seen online, is probably the best one out there in terms of a free community. So. All right, Spy. Can't hold VWAP. Can you hold the 1 standard deviation? Potentially, potentially. Pretty choppy today so far. It's making it tough. And yeah, like I mentioned earlier, we have the YouTube as well now for all the VODs. So that's good. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is a pretty tough market, pretty tough open so far. Just looking at RSP. Now you're getting a little bit of a bounce here, a pretty significant bounce. So what's Spy doing? Spy's bouncing. Okay, let's look at Google one more time. Nothing. Meta, nothing. Apple, nothing really. And so it's probably not QQQ, maybe a little bit. I mean, to me, it looks like it's ARM. Question is, how do we trade this? Let's look at the chains. No earnings on the horizon. I mean, impossible to get in it right now, but we'll watch and see what Spy does here. ARM is definitely our #1 target here. AVGO, kind of interesting as well. I don't know what's going on over here. We got a bunch of noises going off. What's happening? Oh, it's follower goal. It's kind of interesting. Cool. 190 people. Yeah, we like ARM a lot. Probably the best one here. And we're looking at the chains for it. So what would we do here? We'd be looking for options that were ideally around 0.7 delta, and we want good volume. Volume here at these three is not bad. 138, 137, 136. So those would be the ones I'd be looking at. You could go out a little further if you wanted to, if this was more than just a day trade, and you were interested in swinging this. But like we've been saying, I expect some sort of a pullback here from SPY. Now, does that mean that SMH and NVIDIA can't catch a bid here, especially if it's breaking out over this H minus? No, it means that this market could just continue to drift higher as we rotate through the different sectors. But I think we're looking for pockets of relative strength. That's what we'd like to call it. And if you can find those pockets and find a good entry, well, then maybe you can find a nice day trade and or a nice swing trade. INTC, uh-oh. He's alive. He has risen. So we'll see what the market does here. Let's watch this candle. Run through the Discord real quick. Reek's nice little short over the weekend, it looks like. Broccoli likes STX, CCJ, Oracle, and NXE. We've looked at all of those this morning, and they all look pretty solid. We haven't looked at NXE. Let's see what that looks like. Putting in a red candle right here. Definitely a little bit of a breakout. What kind of minerals is this? It's heavy volume. Uranium. Ah, another uranium guy. We can add it over here. NXE. Nice shout. Yeah, there's something going on in nuclear today. I don't know what it is. It's CCJ is what it is. And I don't actively avoid them. I'll trade them when the entry's there, when it makes sense. But nuclear is certainly a kind of a meme sector right now. All right, Doji at the first standard deviation. Do we have an active Discord group? Yeah, someone linked the subreddit earlier, but you can find it through this subreddit. But I'd say go read the wiki first. It can clue you in on how we trade. And some of the terminology that I'm bringing in, like H minus, talking about VWAP, talking about all these different indicators. Because I know this looks messy on SPY for sure, but it's because I get a lot of different levels from a lot of different places, and I think they're important. Whether it be the cloud, which are these blue lines, whether it be SMAs, EMAs, whether it be horizontal resistance or support. There's a lot of different levels that are going to be important. So, it looks like Chocolate linked the Discord as well. Thanks, dude. Opinions on KHC. We'll look at it one more time. I mean, definitely weakness. It looks good to me. You don't like ketchup, huh? Yeah, it's not bad. I just don't see... I mean, it's obviously at horizontal, right? Can this break down lower? I don't know. Obvious relative weakness, though. So we're looking at INTC because it's laughably showing some relative strength today, just in line with the rest of the semiconductors. We like ARM the best, though. QCOM was showing something today, too. Okay, now it's the 100. kind of like QCOM here too. There's a lot of things to like today, and so that's why the title is indeed Fake Out Breakout, right? What's a fake out and what's actually really breaking out here? All right, market can't get above you up again. So yeah, and honestly, if you guys didn't watch Pete's video from Sunday, this is it, right? We're wait and see. And I think I was saying that Friday, probably been saying that last week. We're still in this like wait and see mode. Yeah, I said it last week on the 5th. We're in wait and see mode here. We're going to hold some support levels below, which we did. 594, which is down here, right? Some key cloud levels. We have some other key ones that are coming in around 596, 597, 598. This H plus, or I'm sorry, L plus that's coming in. We have the EMAs that are moving up. We have the 20 SMA moving up. We have the 50 and the 200, all of them moving up. We need to see if we can find some support in here, and we need a bounce is what we want. Izzy's calling LPTE. I'd say it's sure is looking like it. I've taken one trade today. I sold Costco puts. I like the consolidation. I like the hammer that it's putting in here. We'll keep an eye on it. Those puts are at 980 for the end of the week. I think I sold it for 250. It is. I think it's probably break even right now if I had to guess. What is this? Oh, it's up 11%. Wow, look at that. Oh. Sorry, I was looking at my LTI. I was wondering what's going on here. I know real estate's been getting a little beat up, so I'm not overly surprised. Overly surprised? See what I did there? Let's look at this one. Breakout through the 50, pulling back though. Big cloud level, couple of them. I have shares in team that are underwater, so we'll see. Would like these to retest the 200, but it's going to take the market, unfortunately. Yeah, this guy too sucks. Oh well. All right, well, that's what it is to bag hold some things, right? We like Google here. We certainly like Google here. We bought some shares on Google back in the 160s. Down here, I think. But now look at the pullback here on it. And so let's look at RSP again. Okay, now look at RSP. So we're getting like significant rotation here. RSP is now above VWAP, and look at QQQ. Pulled back down. Is it bouncing though? Is this market going to give us is this an entry? What's ARM doing? ARM is nonstop. How do you trade that? Can't trade that. Well, like, it's funny. Sometimes like a good stock in a strong sector gives you that heads up like right away. I called ARM at 6:35 this morning. Off of this. Look at it now. I don't know. What do you have to break? You don't like ketchup, huh? Man, it could be the man. That's true. They make a lot of other stuff. Yeah, ARM has been a monster. Micho likes Go. If it breaks 1320, it could be climaxing. Are you climaxing over there, Micho? What's going on, dude? Grocery outlet holding. I don't know what the hell this is. Volume's nothing to write home about. I'd be surprised if they have weekly options. Are you breaking down through an L plus? Perhaps. Breaking down through the bottom of the cloud. Is there a much larger L plus? Doesn't look like it. A L minus? Already broke down through it. Not bad. I don't know anything about these guys. Groceryoutlet.com. Their particular stores. Independently operated stores, fresh product in California. Interesting. Huh. Doesn't look bad. RSP now putting in a bearish hammer on top of VWAP. Let's see if it can hold. Kokor 101. Hey, Red, are you moving to YouTube Live soon or staying on Twitch? I was planning on staying on Twitch, but I just opened up the YouTube because Twitch doesn't save all the VODs past a certain amount of time. And so wanted to have that available for people who wanted it, but also for myself, kind of. So the VODs will start going up on YouTube now. We have it here. So that'll be nice. You can catch some of the stuff in there, and so other people can look at it as well. Because we do get a good handful of people that do watch the VODs, it looks like, on Twitch. But I think YouTube has a bigger population of people that would be watching VODs there. So QQQ is bouncing a little bit. Let's look at Meta, nothing. Google is now below VWAP, so not interested. Apple below VWAP. Amazon bouncing a little bit above VWAP, showing some RS continuation perhaps on this breakout. Netflix and Microsoft hanging around VWAP. Netflix a little bit stronger. Like we said, these are all-time highs that are also bouncing a little bit too. Nvidia is the one that's made a nice move today. Is Nvidia the one that maybe you'd be interested in along here as a pullback? Perhaps, but the market is not really there for it. It's holding up above VWAP. Maybe. This is where you go long. I mean, look at this from ARM. It's ridiculous. Silly ARM. So yeah, we will see how some of this plays out. We said we think this is horizontal. You can set an alert here. Why not? What's going on, Wayne? How we doing, dude? We'll keep a close eye on RSP. So look at that. Couldn't finish above VWAP. Let's look and see if we can see some rotation here. XLF has been weak all morning. XLV looks like it's bouncing back above VWAP here, but pulling back again. I expect RSP to continue to do the same. REITs can't get above VWAP. Consumer staples. Yeah, it's really tough to see along here from a day trading perspective. So we'll be patient is what we'll do. Utilities are above VWAP, but they're just kind of bouncing a little bit. RSP is really trying to get above VWAP. Comms is now below VWAP after a nice gap up in the morning. Materials, we're rotating into materials a little bit here, it looks like. Look at that, almost high day. QQQ is strong this morning, we know that. Excuse me. Energy, let's look at energy on the D1, because this is something kind of interesting here. Think about what happens with energy in a recession. Think about what happens with energy as demand starts to dry up a little bit. Energy prices are coming down. Now, is that helpful for energy? I'm not really sure. We see what NNE and CCJ and what nuclear is doing. Is that propping this up a little bit? Perhaps. I think oil is in an interesting spot right now. So you need to keep that in mind in regards to recession discussions and in regards to the macro picture, because we know that there's a lot of potential canaries in the coal mine there, and you got to keep an eye on it. See, now goes back above VWAP. There's nothing here for me. I think you're looking for something long that is doing all its own lifting. Something like ARM, something like CCJ. QCOM doesn't look bad. think AMD was one that we were potentially looking at. Oracle looks good. AMD doesn't look bad. It's just a little bit of a pullback. It's been weaker than some of the other ones. There's just not a ton of room here, right? You tested that relative high. You could throw an AVU up on here if you really wanted to. Looks nice. Do we have one at all time? Doesn't look like it. Let's throw it on. Oops, wrong place. Throw one on here just for the heck of it. And let's see how it flex. Yeah, so way up here. Okay, you have one here. What is that? Okay, this relative high. Yeah, I mean, this testing the 200, if NVIDIA continues like this and NVIDIA breaks out, is not outside the realm of possibility. I know that Harry doesn't wait for pullbacks, but Pete does. What is your thinking about waiting for the pullback? I mean, on ARM, if you don't wait for the pullback here, this thing's been nonstop. What are you just going to slam an entry right here? Maybe this was a pullback, potentially, but it's so early, waiting for the market to figure it out. The market looked like it was red this morning. NVIDIA engulfed, right? If I'm looking at ARM, I'm looking at the sector as well. And so this morning, what was the sector doing? Well, the sector was one of the strongest ones, right? It still is the strongest one today. Look at that. It's breaking out today from this consolidation on the D1, but also on the M5, it's just strong, right? And it mainly just follows NVIDIA for sure to a certain extent. But we know there's some other big players in this sector. And yeah, so it looks good. It's above VWAP. We keep an eye on NVIDIA, like we said. This candle here was a little bit concerning for SMH, especially if the market was, you know, opening up down. This move back up through VWAP, you know, tentative bounce. I mean, where's the entry on ARM? I don't really know. There isn't one. It's just silly strong. Check my phone here. Gold is pumping. Pete posted something. The tax cuts, yes, they are a bullish a bullish catalyst potentially. And we know that Europe and the rest of the world are cutting rates left and right. Yeah, there's just a lot going on this week. Pete even says, action plan, trim trade size, focus on day trading until confidence builds. Watch Friday's high for resistance, Friday's low for support, which is basically what we're doing, right? Mallow says, HA reversal on M5 for ARM. Yeah, you could turn those on, right? Definitely seeing something here. So from an HA perspective, look at all these flat green candles, flat bottomed. That's, you know, strong HA. And then you're seeing obviously the reversal that's coming in here. Even if you get the reversal here, I mean, what? So Mallow, how are you gonna trade this? If you like, what's the pullback you'd be looking for? Like the pivot is obviously the nicest part. I don't know. I guess you could just look at the chains. We were looking at them earlier. We were looking at 136 calls probably. Look pretty good. High of day on those is 675. Right now they're about $6 a pop. I don't know. Would like to see more of a pullback. To SPY VWAP, hold VWAP. Same with QQQ. Then consider it. But it doesn't look like this market's really doing much here. We got the D1 alert here. SPY. Let me see. Just cleaning up the alerts on my phone. Okay. But yeah, we're in a waiting game here. We're patient. MCHP, yeah, we talked about that one a little bit earlier. It's another semiconductor stock. Looks good. I think the volume is pretty decent too. A little bit choppier on the intraday. Getting through a significant cloud level here, which is maybe why it was choppier right there. Not sure. We were going to look at CCJ. Micho had his question about 11 o'clock entry. $11 What time zone? Here? I mean, that's not really buying a pullback. I mean, we know this is a meme stock, right? You're at all-time highs. This is a meme stock, right? You're riding nuclear. I'm happy to wait. I think, sorry, 20 minutes ago. It's 8:12 here. I'm on Pacific time. That's the hardest part, right? If you're looking at some of these stocks that are showing great relative strength, well, guess what? When they're showing relative strength, they're not going to pull back as much. So it's like, it's tough to find an entry here, right? So what's a good way to do that? On something like ARM, you know, maybe it's the strategy. Maybe it's a bullish put spread. You know, maybe it's, you know, looking to get directional off of solid support. Well, we definitely see support here, 136-ish. That's all-time high. AVOP, I believe. Yep. We see support here as well at this horizontal and this pivot point. Maybe we see if it'll test that and hold that level, which would probably coincide with VWAP. About to grind myself to Gold Nova with... Izzy and I played some Counter-Strike 2 the other day. Over on Friday. Was that Friday? We want to start a Counter-Strike team. An RDT Counter-Strike team. To execute some strats, baby. Okay, look at AMD now. SMH we know is strong, but it's giving up VWAP here. And there's probably some horizontal levels that it's going to come back down to. I'm going to take that one off. QCOM looks really good. I like QCOM. There's just not a ton of room here. Let's look at the QCOM chains and see if there's a way that we could trade this still. Double top on the intraday here. A little bit coming in. Let's look at RSP one more time. I mean, that's what you're seeing here from SMH as well. RSP is above VWAP now, but just hanging on for life, and so is QQQ, which is rejecting this pivot point, which is maybe a lower high here. So we'll want to see VWAP hold. VWAP has to hold here for all these ETFs for you to consider long, in my opinion. And even then, it's not super exciting. So like, look at ARM. What's ARM doing? Maybe this is your 8 pullback. Is that enough? I don't know. That's up to you. QCOM. You could go... Yeah, the IVs are kind of juiced on this guy. I was thinking about selling puts. You know what? I already looked at that this morning. Nah, that's not it. But it looks good. I like the breakout. AVGO. Maybe there's a put you could sell on AVGO. Let's look at that. 206, 205 would bring you below VWAP. Significant cloud line at 213, so 210. Consolidation 220-ish probably would keep you below the consolidation. Is there a 220? What's 220 look like? Yeah, I mean, it's pennies. This isn't it. It's a shame. Shame. CS with Pete and Harry would be hilarious, but that would never happen. How did you all do? Dude, Izzy's really good at CS. He's pretty solid. It sounds like he's played quite a bit. You know, I can hold my own, but I'm just not. We're not competitive, Team Art. Team Art, you put in the hours, dude. When are we going to get in there? You're the other one that we were going to try and get in. Chocolate, if you play CS one of these days. I used to be very good at it 13 years ago. Yeah, I know, right? I have the 10-year medal in Steam. Let me see if I can find it. What's the market doing right now? All right, we're holding view up here. QQQ is weak. RSP is moving up. ARM is still pulling back, which is like what we would like to see, basically. Entry on STX, perhaps? Let's look at Amazon, making a little bit of a move here. Google's below VWAP still. Meta as well. Apple as well. Netflix is flirting with it, but it's been strong. Microsoft is flirting with it as well. Nvidia is now on a pullback to VWAP, which kind of tells you that SMH is probably giving it back. Let's see here. Hold please, hold please. Look at Costco. Nice move here. So those puts that I sold are probably already at least 20% up, is my guess. Yeah, 25% up. Nice little move there. So what would you do with something like this on Costco? I'll just be holding these till through the end of the week. But if they, I mean, I expect to retest this H minus probably. I'll close them at 80%, but you know, we'll keep an eye on it, especially through Wednesday. Let's look at SMH. That's what we're gonna look at. Okay, so you're getting your pullback. We'll set an alert below VWAP. This needs to hold if you're going to consider an SMH stock. ARM looks pretty good still. Oops. Give me a second over here. Pull up the chains again. $141. Is there a way you could squeeze some pennies out of this? All right, well, we'll wait for this candle to finish. Looks like it's bouncing here. So, kind of a lotto-y trade, but you could do something small size on ARM calls here. I'm currently looking at 140 calls, but I don't like what SPY is doing now. Look at this. Well, QQQ is giving a VWAP test, maybe. Let's see what SPY does here. Yeah, we haven't played for a long time. 1OP sub should include an annual CS tournament. I was Quake Duke Nukem guy back in the day. Yeah, I played Halo too. 20-year medal on Steam? Holy shit, dude. That is something. That certainly is something. I don't know where my medals are. All I know is I have a 10-year medal on CS. It's like a grandpa medal. Useless says on ARM around 150 from current price. You got the last decent D1 level, 29th May of high, which coincides with current price of VWAP. Let's look at it. Yeah, I have that level too. Useless. I have 138.55, which is like some horizontal. Definitely, yeah, the 29th. Makes sense. All right, SPY kind of likes it. Kind of interesting, that's for sure. I just don't see this market like retesting high a day with any gusto, because high a day is 600, and that's the lid, right? I mean, I don't know why we don't have something on here. Make it freaking purple. All right, you need to see, oops. You need to see QQQ hold VWAP and SPY as well, if there's a long in this, and even then it's going to be a really small one. ASTS nonstop. Look at NVIDIA, now through VWAP. That's why SMH is so weak right now. Yeah, I think this is a pretty tough place to be right now, to be looking to take a trade. But yeah, welcome Nizzle Dizzle. RDT Team Fortress 2 team. I don't know about that. I think we're more aimers than we are TF2. Izzy says lower highs on QQQ. I don't think we lose much lose out much by being patient on Monday. I'm looking for shorts in case we break down today. Okay, that's not a bad choice there. Look at QQQ now, below SMH. Like the opportunity for long is pretty much gone in my eyes. From a day trading perspective, would need to see like a hammer on this one standard deviation here. So yeah, we could look for some shorts. Maybe it'll be worth it. Remember being unstoppable at CS circa 2004. An Onward team would be fun. So, ever play Onward? I've never played Onward. I don't know what that is. But yeah, I used to play 1.6 on CS like way back in the day. STX entry here. We said that, but yeah, but I think it's tough for longs. The new CS isn't the same as 1.3, 1.5, but I don't know if you're that. Yeah, dude, I am that generation. I used to play 1.5, 1.6 way back in the day, and of course it's not the same. It's definitely different, but the graphics look good on it, I will say that. UPST, we'll look at that. I mean, even ARM, look at the strength there. Okay, so see, here's your tail. This market like wants to hold this level. Let me look at this real quick. Yeah, the market wants to hold this level. What were we gonna look at? UPST. It is breaking out. This we know this thing goes. I don't know. I don't love it. A lot of AVU ops coming in here. It's not bad. I think it needs to get through some of this shit. You're at some horizontal here. Hard to say. Guys, if you like the music too, this is from Forehill. He's a guy in our community, in the RDT community. He makes some really good like synth chill wave kind of stuff. Usually what we listen to. It's pretty nice stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think we just gotta be patient here. Wait and see. CS and VR. I don't have VR, unfortunately. Look at this though. So which mags is doing this? Maybe Microsoft a little bit. It's definitely not Nvidia. We're gonna reset an alert on Nvidia here. Maybe Meta? I don't know, but we definitely don't have Tailwind. That's what that feels like. Tailwind would feel like Nvidia bouncing off the one standard deviation here and back through VWAP. I mean, look how strong that is. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I almost took that too. I had put these calls up and I had an entry. I was looking at the 140 calls. I was only gonna buy like 5 or 6 of them for like $3.50. They're back to $4 a pop. Oh well. That's what it is, right? This is so RS. It's like, okay, is this all the pullback you're gonna get? Is this all the pullback you're gonna get? Are we gonna test the horizontal line? I mean, this market doesn't look like it's doing anything. So this stock would do all the lifting. Well, it is. I mean, that is RS though, right? That is institutional buying. Couple Lulu shorts coming up. Doctor's got a long on ASTS. On that last candle with some volume came in on some rejection. I mean, you're at horizontal is the tough part, right? I see it though. V stacking greens. V's one that we were looking at. It doesn't like to move a ton, but look at this guy. You're waiting for a breakout up here. Let's look at MA. Same story. You're waiting for a breakout. Teased it yesterday, or on Friday rather. AXP. I mean, XLF has been weak today, but is it moving? Look at semiconductors now. Below VWAP, coming back down. ARM retested high today, but it's probably not going to take a leg higher unless NVIDIA and SMH decides to turn around here. And now we're back below VWAP. I mean, that's what happens, right? So if for ARM, if you were looking for this for a new high a day, like you got this on just relative strength alone. Asking for more than that without the tailwind of the market, I think is asking a lot. So I think the shorts, are probably a decent idea. Best times the Deagle. Yeah, I love the Deagle. CS 1.6 was peak. Still play Team Fortress 2. Yeah, CS 1.6 was good. Four Hills, a member of the RDD. You can find his music here. Yeah, thanks for sharing that, chocolate. Ever use Deep View? Seems like a cool watch list scanner. Don't know what that is and haven't. We have also a guy in the community who's created a scanner called ZenBot, ZenScans rather. I recommend this one. If you guys are into the RDT strategy, this one has some of the best scans that are the closest you can get to one option without paying for it. Who's the guy who makes this? Storm? Storm makes this in the RDT community. He's great. He puts a lot of effort into this, and you got some really, really good scans in here. If you go up to the top and you just go to, if it'll let me save it. Come on. There we go. You go to long scans. If you're looking long, obviously. I don't really know what that is. And you can filter based on, size and some other stuff too. It's going a little slow right now. There you go. But some really good long scans here. You have top long. You want to see like the RS across a lot of time frames matching up. And you want to filter probably for bigger companies, market cap minimum. You could just, I don't know, 500 million. You could, there's a lot of things you can filter for. You would like, yeah. So I mean, check it out. It's definitely, kind of cool. Gives you a lot of the same functionality that 1OP gives you. You get, where is it? HA reversals, SMA breaks, comp breaks. Get some really good stuff in here. So check it out. Hut was one that came up. I know Pete mentioned that one on the D1. This one's making, it's pulling back a little bit today. So you would want relative strength across the board. I don't know what some of these are, but ASTS is in here. I think there's like a buying one too, right? Strong daily, pullback slottos, price pops, momentum. Nothing in here is matching my filters. That's funny. Stag. What's going on, Stag? Let's look at Stag. Mr. Stag. Woo! Look at that. This is a REIT. Nice move above the 200. You're at some horizontal in here. I used to own a lot of Stag back in the day, in my dividend investing days. Like it. Look at that H minus breakout. Let's look. It's probably another one, perhaps. Set that. Throw an 8 VWAP on it. Throw another one here. Certainly through a lot of the important AV ops. This guy has a fat dividend too, 4%. I mean, I like this from a long-term holding perspective, LTI. Anyways, so yeah, if you are in need of a free scanner, this one's solid. Highly recommend it. CCJ pullback now to the 8. Let's look at it. I might have missed it at this point. Yeah, maybe. I mean, look at this relative strength here. And now SPY is testing VWAP again. QQQ's holding up above it. Let's look at, so SMH is now going to test VWAP. It looks like a little bounce from NVIDIA, but unconvincing. Looks like it wants to continue down. So let's look at RSP again. RSP is now above VWAP, which is good, but the market has been seeing rotation here. So we need to see SPY back above VWAP to be considering something. Profit, what's going on, dude? The question is, do you rely on RS only as the market remains resilient while constantly rejecting 600? I think it's very difficult. And I don't think we're in a place, if you look at SPY, where you're like, yeah, let's swing long here, right? I think you're waiting for a pullback. And you got a little bit of a one here on Thursday that maybe that pullback to the 8 was it. But to me, it's like if this is standard stair stepping on SPY, and we're looking at what standard stair stepping, let's do it over here. Actually, we can't. We got to do it here. Okay. If this is standard stair stepping on SPY, right? How we look at normal TA on anything, right? We had. Can I do it on SPX a little bit cleaner? Maybe VU. Okay, this is cleaner. So we've done this a couple times, right? Breakout through the 50 and the 100, or the 200 and the 100. Took this nice cloud level here and used it as support. Continuation up to some significant cloud levels here, right? Bottom of the cloud, you could even say, right here, right? And VU obviously is slightly different than SPY, so keep that in mind. But then you had this pullback, right? We tested the 8, then news came in. I don't remember exactly what this was. There was some news here, so we tested 100 and 200. We got long here for this bull flag, right? Bull flag. And the idea was to retest the horizontal level of the top of the consolidation, which was right here, and we pretty much did, right? We kind of ambled our way up there, stumbled drunkenly. What did we do? We rode the 8, slight retest to the 15 here, right? Bounced, nice volume coming in, decent volume, above average here, to keep us up to test that horizontal level. Moving up, trying to take one leg higher. On Thursday, we retested the 8. What would we do after retesting the 8 if we can't get, a significant move up? We're going to retest the 15 at some point, in my opinion. And that also coincides with the 20. If we can find support in there, I don't know exactly where that is here. Maybe it's a cloud level. Maybe it's like here. And if we can hold that level, which it's going to coincide with maybe the 15 and the 20 as it moves up this week, then, is there another entry for another retest of this? The problem is you have 600 above on SPY, and that is acting as a ceiling. You have a lot of support forming below. It just makes it really tough to find entries. So you got to find the best of the best. ARM so far today has been the best of the best, but now you're at this pivot point. I just think it's tough to get long here. Like, honestly, when I was looking at the chains, I was literally just looking for that move. And it's like less than, it's $1 and some change. It's hardly worth it. VIX still testing low a day though, kind of interesting. What does that tell you about the market and what it wants to do? It wants to stay up. Now look at Nvidia right now. Look at this. It's like trying to reject this H- again. That is ugly. That is ugly. So RSP looking nice move above VWAP, but now we're getting weakness in some of these other sectors, and I just think it's pretty tough to trade here. Look at ASTS, no. So yeah, if you're gonna be in something, it's got to do all its own lifting. That's the way I look at it. So we had the interesting list. Let's flip back through this. CCJ was a good one. Tons of volume coming in here. Do you just jump in? Well, we're at all-time highs and we don't buy, high a day. We don't buy all-time highs. You have the 8 that's going to be coming up. This is going to pull back at some point. Lemonade, another good one that was on the list from last week. Look at the volume coming in. There's something here. Good example. Great volume after a breakout here. Lemonade is screaming like potential like KQ option, or potentially. All right, what are the people saying here? Plot twist, you're actually in the war. Dang, you guys are getting spicy in the chat here. Also, the stream kind of popping off. Not gonna lie, that's sick. Do you use AVOP, Q, or E? I use all of them. I think they're all important. I think earnings are important. I think the relative highs and the relative lows are important. I think high volume candles are important. Like this one is probably important for for this. We know that on SPY, AVWAP out of what was it, April 9th is super important. Anytime you see like a key level or a key bar on these charts, I think you have to take that into account. Look at Costco. I think my Costco, what are these at? 30%? Plus 30%? Plus 40% already on my Costco puts. Love to see it. Sometimes it's about let the theta play work for you. You just a stock trader or crypto too? Strictly stocks. I don't do crypto. But welcome to the show. If you have interest, if you're new, check out the RDT Discord and the RDT subreddit. That's where you can learn what I consider to be one of the best edges when it comes to trading stock. Obviously, I'm mainly an options trader, but all my information and like how I trade, my backstory, everything, it's all there in the bio. So check it out. Yeah, but yeah, we mainly trade stocks. KQ on Lemonade was 6.2. $6.2? Definitely. I mean, so what's the... So you're saying it's too late? It's never too late. Still looks good. I mean, look at this from SPY. Awfully resilient, right? It's just rotation. Look at semiconductors coming back down. TAN, even bouncing a little bit here. Materials are rotating up. The mags are even fighting for VWAP here. So let's look at NVIDIA again. So NVIDIA is finding support at this pivot point. Could this be the market retracing a little bit? Well, ARM, maybe. Let's do this. Set an alert on VWAP for SMH. And just evaluate what that does to ARM. I mean, I think ARM still has room here. Maybe Lemonade's one that we look to sell puts on. Let's look at that. Yeah, ARM's back at high day on those options. Oh well. Okay, Lemonade, you would want to go below $30 probably. It's pretty far out of the money based on these chains. Yeah, so nothing. Nah, I don't know. What about 32.50? 35 is probably the closest you could get anything. I mean, yeah, nothing this week. There's nothing there. It's too cheap of a stock, unfortunately. Yeah, I agree. All right, we'll SPY back above VWAP. We're gonna test 600 again. This feels just like we're like drifting in this. Like it would suck, but there's a chance that we just do this until Wednesday. That wouldn't surprise me one bit, unfortunately. VIX is making a low a day. QQQ is pulling back a little bit here. Yeah, it is interesting that VIX is making a low a day here. Let's look at RSP one more time. See, look at this from RSP. Where's the rotation? Something's happening here. Something is getting big rotation. XLF is above VWAP now. Hack looks good. We should maybe look at hack stocks. Healthcare is looking good. We were looking at mRNA this morning. Let's look at. I mean, look at this from Lemonade. Let's look at mRNA. Nothing. Let's go back to the to S&P 500 chart. Something's turning green here. What is it? Semiconductors are lighting it up. It's materials. PFE's been strong all morning. Let's look at that one. No, Fidelity. No. What's this? What is this one? Oh, it's Moderna. And we looked at Synopsys, Hershey Company, LVS. Let's look at LVS. Is that the 100? Maybe. Set an alert here. Ride it to the 200, perhaps. I mean, intraday looks good. Perhaps something there. Yeah, there's some sort of rotation going on.
That's what I'm seeing. Dow. Bouncing. Hate this company and stock. eBay, Etsy. Stocks are just on something. Absolutely on one. TXN. Also doesn't look bad. We're going to add ARM here. Let's look at TSM. Oh, what's going on, Doctor? How we doing? How we doing? Yeah, we're about to test AVWAP all-time high here and a key cloud level on Lemonade. Above that, you have an H minus. I don't know, man. This thing is just an absolute beast. Tempest teasing us a little bit here. What's going on, Blake? How we doing, man? People popping in, popping out. Love it. Love to see it. Look at QQQ now testing VWAP. Amazon nonstop. We said this was the strongest one. I mean, you could see it up here, right? We kind of rated weakest to strongest across the board from mags. Well, Amazon now, strongest one on the day. Testing this cloud level, it looks like. I mean, gotta like it. There's something here after this breakout. Microsoft, Netflix, Meta. Look at this pullback on Nvidia. Absolute weakness today. Bring it down. Google, not bad. Has been decently strong. Look at Apple now. Pulling back as well to test the 50. Certainly interesting. But we're just barcoding pretty much here on SPY. Just straight barcoding. ASTS. I don't know. How do you even get an entry there? I mean, I see it. You gonna ride that to the all-time high? It's very possible. Man, look at that volume coming in. I did check AVGO this morning. I've checked it multiple times. These are the ones I've just had up. There was a time when I had AVGO going in there. I don't currently right now just because I think NVIDIA just drives that sector so much. I don't know. Maybe it is worth it, though. What's the market cap on this guy comparatively? 1.414 trillion. I mean, it's like half the market cap of a lot of these so far. Bigger than Netflix, though. That is a good point. Should we add it in, Michu? Just one more chart to have up. Yeah, I mean, Costco's not even as big either. Look at this hammer Costco's putting in, though. Right off of AVWAP from, what was this? Previous all-time high. Look at that. That's why we're selling cost puts. I got in ASTS on the break of AVWAP high a day. Nice, dude. I hope you get a good one there. Let's look at ARM one more time. Okay, now we are finding resistance here at this this pivot point. QQQ's holding VWAP SPYs as well. Let's look back at RSP. We'll look at a couple hack stocks. RSP is making a nice move here. I see it. I see the longs. Look at CCJ is pulling back now. That is indicative of the market a little bit, though, right? So stocks that you're saying that are RS are starting to find resistance now that the market is finding some support, and vice versa. Which leads me to think you need something that is really RS in the long term, that is making, that has RS on a longer time frame, so that you can say, consider swinging something. But at the same time, like, I still feel like there's a pullback here on this market at some point, and so you're swinging into that. I don't know. I think it's tough. We're going on 2 hours here. I'm gonna go get some water and consider refilling my coffee. I will be right back. Let's see what SPY does. Look at RSP, nonstop, man. You want to see QQQ hold you up. So I will be right back. All right, looks like SPY wants to look at this bouncing QQQ. Yeah, maybe there's a long entry here. Maybe. There it is, ASTS. You guys are seeing the continuation. Let's look at NVIDIA. All right, once again, trying to find support here. See if this is now resistance at this pivot point. Google, look at that. Nice little move here back to the first standard deviation. Microsoft pulling back again. Amazon still strongest. else do we got here? Hold please, hold please. Should we change the music up? Get a different vibe going? Oh, Tempest. Tempest! About goddamn time. We want to break out of one of these H minuses. That's what we would want to see. Here's some volume coming in. Yeah, we can change up the music. Let's go, here's a good alternative. Synthwave. Alright. Handing out some mod privileges to some of the boys. Yeah, look at this from Tempest. Something's going on here. And look at QQQ holding NVIDIA still. I mean, when NVIDIA's doing this, this doesn't look great for the overall market, I feel like, personally. Something's going on here. Alright, what I will do while this is happening is look at the calls for this week. Can I do something out of the money for a profit on these shares? And Dizzle wants to review a trade. What do you got, buddy? Oh. Let's see. 45% on the Costco puts. Looks good to me. Yeah, look at ARM. Still, now it's making new high a day. We liked ASTS. Other people said off the 8. Not bad. I think ASTS is swing. Look how extended it is, though. But this breakout and just knowing how this stock goes, like, I don't know. It may be more extended than it ever has been. It's more extended than here. It's more extended than it was in here. That's like ASTS is more extended than it maybe has ever been, I feel like. Oh, the doctor coming in with that Tempest trade. We know that's a Pelosi special. All right, look at that. Rejecting 600 again. Like clockwork. Like absolute clockwork. So this is what it means, right? To understand just the SPY structure intraday, but also on the D1. You know, I have all these lines on here for a reason, right? And I always say this. I don't do this for my health. I don't do it for fun to have a rainbow on my screen, right? These are key levels. Based on what I've seen and based on what some of these indicators are saying, these are what I think are to be key levels. We know that 600 is a square number. We know it's a psychological level. Well, it's a lid on the market until we can get either some better news or if we just drift higher, which it's very possible that we do. I mean, look at the strength in staying up above these levels. You know, riding the first standard deviation. We're just testing down to see, you know, are there sellers that really want to get involved, or are we okay to continue to scoop up shares in this area? Hard to say, but it sure looks like 600 is the ceiling. So unless we got a nice breakout today on volume that could then retest at some point to go, like even then, you're not getting much of a pullback to then get an entry to get long. That's the way I look at it. And so we're cautiously bullish with the understanding that there is a lot of macro on the cards for this week, especially on Wednesday. Oracle earnings on Wednesday as well, I believe. So keep all this in mind. And when I trade, I like to have a tailwind. And so if I'm long and I'm bullish, well, that tailwind is literally hitting a brick wall at 600. So. Coworkers. Disregard that. Didn't know what I was clicking. Interesting. Oh, no, you're good. I have that stuff there. If you guys like, I mean, honestly, you don't need to redeem anything. I'm more than happy to review any trades. Yeah. What are the clouds? The clouds are the Ichimoku clouds. I recommend you take a look at it. If you don't know, there's some about it in RDT, maybe. The professor is the one who, he's on X, on Twitter. He has some good videos on YouTube about what the clouds are. I'm a big fan. All the blue lines are cloud lines. What you're looking for are these long, flat levels. Actually, there might be a video that I put together in my Twitch. Let's see. If I go to the channel, and go to videos. Yeah, there is one. I have a clip from 2 months ago just talking about cloud lines. Nice. That's exactly what we do those clips for. I don't know, guys. I don't see much here. I'm hardworking fellow posting links on the chat. Well, we're about to outsource your work to a Discord bot at some point, or a bot, a Twitch bot. But we appreciate your work, Chocolate. What was I seeing? Some guy said that like he thinks that's what it is. Nightbot. Yes, I need to get Nightbot. I don't have it, but I need it. So I need to figure out how to set that up. Expedia was one that we had been looking at. Let's look at it on nothing crazy there. Let's look at intraday on TXN. Looks good still. MCJ. Lemonade maybe something here. Maybe. But like we said, these cloud levels. But there is some room here, right? I don't know. Very extended. Like 10% to the H minus. A little bit, only like $2 to this AVU op, which I presume is all-time high. Yeah, I think you would just like here. You'd like that. Or at least to test this, right? It looks like this is coming down. So like, is this gonna kind of waffle in here until it does test that? Maybe. Feels like we've missed the move already. A better higher probability trade would be if it pulled back to test this cloud level, to test, you know, the 8 again. So that's what we'll look for. And we'll leave that there. Anyone here not come from the Discord? I assume that there are some people that haven't, or that are not from the Discord because of some of the questions that I've seen and some of the stuff that I've seen this morning, which is fine. I think that's cool. It's cool that there's a little bit of a pull, a draw from some other areas of Twitch. I'd say the investing and or stocks and bonds category on Twitch is pretty limited. The one guy who like really kills it is the stock guy, and he kind of just does a more broad, like entertaining conversation. We're pretty targeted at this strategy, right? At this RDT strategy. But the stock guy also has admitted that he's not like a full-on day trader. This is a nice hammer from QQQ and Spy. I think you probably need some volume. I mean, look at the volume that came in here to try to get above 600 and the pre-market level. It couldn't. I think you need the volume here to retest the high of day. Nice move from ARM off of this. TEM maybe finding this as support now. NVIDIA maybe found support here. Looks like it was testing the second and the third standard deviation. Probably needs to get back above this. You have VWAP here coming down. Apple finding something. Not much from Netflix. Google still moving. Amazon still looks good. So it's kind of a mixed bag here a little bit. Now look at RSP again. Big bear hammer. I mean, look how quickly that candle's changing. Yeah, I think that's probably I don't know. I think that might be about it.
The 1% rigged it? No, it's the 0.01%.
I think that's probably about it. You've got these levels in here, right? If we're just stair-stepping and bouncing between these levels today. This is what I'm looking at. It's about VWAP, 600. Then you have the high of day, which coincides with the pre-market, right? And so what are we doing? We're going to just bounce between these levels, right? After you establish this like morning range, bounce back up through VWAP, retest back down to 1 standard deviation, through VWAP again on volume. Okay, let's test the morning high of day pre-market. Got the test. Pulled back to VWAP, broke down VWAP, almost 1 standard deviation again. Bounce back, 1 standard deviation above, 1 below, 1 above. We're going to test VWAP again and go, or are we just going to do this again? Like, that's standard stair stepping, right? How many trades do I take a day? It depends on the market. If I'm day trading, I'll take a couple. I mean, it's usually not a ton, just a couple. I'm not a scalper. I trade relative strength, relative weakness. Let's look. I can look last week and see how many trades I took. Here's an example. Are we in June? We're in June. Holy shit. Last week I took 14 trades, 10 wins, 4 losses. Of those, a couple of those were probably a scratch. At least one of those, 1, 2 scratches, maybe 3 scratches in there. So win rate was probably pretty close to 70%. Average gain was like 26%. So I was a good loser. Average loss was 6%. Yeah, and did a really good return last week. I had a 17% return on the week. So here we are, rejecting 600 again. Yeah, I think that's it probably for me. Any day trades today? No. I'm in Costco puts that I sold down here at 980. I sold them earlier in the day when we were closer to VWAP. So I thought that was good. And I will hold this. I will. They're just through the end of the week, but they're expensive, and you need collateral to do these kinds of trades. And I think a bullish put spread is what Pete was recommending. I like the idea of naked puts on good stocks that you like, because IVs are still a little juiced, and you can get some good return there through the end of the week. We know option expiration is next week as well. Just beware of earnings. I was looking at Oracle earlier, and someone reminded me that Oracle earnings were coming up. That's a dangerous one for sure. But Oracle does look really good, right? So anyways, look at this from NVIDIA. You're right back at this H-, trying to see if we can hold this today. This obviously is some horizontal here. So, or I'm sorry, some significant resistance. So, and then you're going to have some more coming in here at some point. Exactly where, hard to say. Yeah. I don't know. I think the market looks fine. Well, here's your rejection now, right? Let's see what QQQ is doing. Back to view up. RSP's moving back down. Yeah, I think this is tough to trade right here. So, and that's okay. Half of this battle is knowing when it's hard to trade, right? And reacting accordingly, not taking trades, not sizing on when the probability is not in your favor. And that's what RDT, that's what reading the wiki and the strategy that I employ, that a lot of the people in here employ, is all about, right? It's knowing when the market is high probability, knowing when it's low probability, and sizing in and out accordingly. And we've had some good opportunities to get long in here, especially here on that Friday. A couple more in here maybe off of a bounce of some of these levels that we're seeing a lot of support coming in. But our motto is that we buy pullbacks, and there's no pullback here, especially not on the D1. What would a pullback look like? Probably at least to the 8, probably to some of these significant cloud levels. And it can't be like just a straight stacked red candles. That would, make us say, okay, maybe sellers are more involved. It needs to be a little bit of a choppy breakdown. It probably needs to, at some point, test this 15 that's coming up, test the 20 that's coming up, and give us an entry down there on what are the best stocks at that point. That's what we'll be looking for, right? So let's see what happens here. It looks like volume's coming in a little bit into the market, so let's keep your eyes on it. VIX is picking up a little bit here too, so definitely looks like maybe a little bit of a pullback here potentially. ASTS giving a pullback. We'll see. Awesome. Well, welcome new people. Shoot us a follow if you haven't. Like we said, and I'll throw it out there one more time. You have the YouTube channel now, which is where we'll have all the VODs here. So I'll drop that link in the chat. We'll try and set up Nightbot. I think that'll be helpful for the YouTube, for the Discord link, so that Chocolate doesn't have to be our Nightbot, even though he is our silent protector. We appreciate that. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully this was helpful. That's why I do it. I'm not here to make money, to be honest. I make money on my own through my own trading. Could the trading be better? Absolutely. It always can be better. Am I the finished product? No. Should you follow my trades? No. But I think the whole goal of this stream is to help people to also give my thought process and my day-to-day clarity, both for myself, but hopefully for other people too, and to prove that this strategy does work. If my results from last year, making well into 6 figures, doesn't already prove that, then in a shittier market this year, then if we can do all right, then I think that would be a good way to continue to prove things out. So yeah, welcome if you're new. If you're not, thanks for coming in, and we will keep this going. Like I said, Wednesday, remember, a lot of economic news coming out on Wednesday before the open. So if you're long, I think you probably can't be swinging past Tuesday. And this market is not giving you much to say that you should be long swinging in Tuesday anyways. Aside from that, Oracle earnings on Wednesday as well after close. GameStop tomorrow after close if you're insane. GitLab, anything else there, feel free. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. I linked over the YouTube. I'll be in the RDT Discord for the rest of the day, like always. QQQ putting in a bearish candle here. RSP doesn't care. So we're seeing some rotation, right? But yeah, Would you be making any guides on YouTube? I'm new to options in specific and will have some insights into that. I'm not sure I'll be doing guides. I like Twitch because it's just off the cuff. I have said in the past that I do think that a walkthrough on options would be good. Options are a double-edged sword. They're good and they're bad. But I do think that if you really want to make money directionally, like options are the way to go, especially on a smaller account. And it's pretty defined as well what your risk reward is there. So I have mainly been an options trader, and I think it's actually pretty straightforward. Today you saw me looking at chains in the video. Take a look at what I was talking about when I was going through that. Maybe that might be helpful. But yeah, some of the past videos I talked about it too. Maybe there is a place in the future though for a discussion about options. All right, big hammer coming in on QQQ, big hammer coming in on SPY holding up over VWAP. I mean, there is a world we're really tightly compressed in here between VWAP and the 600. So there is a world where this takes off. Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me if this just stayed in here and chopped back and forth. If we did break through, you're going to test the high day. Then you're going to test this pivot point and the top of this cloud level here. So which is the top of the cloud going back right here on SPY in January. So awesome. All right, guys, we'll leave it at that. Let's see what happens here the rest of the day. I think you saw me put on Costco puts. I sold Costco puts. Those look good. I'm in PRCT position. I'm in Tempest shares as well. Let's see what happens. Awesome. Appreciate it. Have a good day. And I'll see you guys in the Discord. Cheers.